Hey everyone, welcome today. So I have a really cool workshop for you today. So I did this little experiment last week where I uh, I created an agency in about an hour. I made an offer and I made $2,000 with this offer in an hour. And it was a done for you service that I used AI, ChatGPT, to fulfill. I didn't have to do it. So it's really cool because I didn't actually have to do anything. And it took about 5 minutes per client to service. And this is something that, would normally take days to do, possibly even weeks. And so what I want to do in this workshop is I want to sort of tell you the story of this, show you what I did, and then get your brain spinning on how you can do this for yourself. Does that sound good to everybody? Okay. And then let me just show you here. I'm just so you, and I know you guys trust me, but just so you see, if you notice right here, can you see it? See all these payments, 485, 485, 485, 45. That is the PayPal fees that they take. It should say 500, but PayPal takes fees. And so that was all people who sent me money because they liked the service I did for them. Now, I'm going to draw this out, but first, let me kind of tell you how this went down. So I was working on a new funnel that my company is launching. And basically, I'm releasing this book right here. It's called The Perfect Lead Magnet. And we're building the funnel for it. Well, this book is a script that I developed for lead magnets over the years that basically, if you follow this script or this framework and you create a lead magnet, you not only build your list quite quickly, but you attract buyers instead of tire kickers. Because one of the big pain points for people is when they build a list, people don't buy, right? And it's because they get them on their list for the wrong reasons. You need the right bait in order to catch the right fish. So anyway, one of the things I always do when I sell a book is I have OTOs, or one-time offers. So basically I'll sell a book, and then on the next page, I'll be like, hey, thanks so much for buying The Perfect Lead Magnet. You made a smart decision, and here's why. This book is going to help you write your lead magnet, blah, 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 blah. But let me ask you a question. And then I'll sell them something else. So does everybody understand that so far? You sell something, and then on the next page, there's usually one or two, some people do three, one-time offers where it's like, hey, you got this thing, but you need this, buy this. Everybody gets that, right? Just let me know in the chat. Okay, everybody understands that. All right. So one of the offers I was going to make for this was I took the script and I was like, oh, how cool would it be if I created a bunch of prompts that would allow you to write your entire lead magnet based on this script with AI, so you didn't have to do it. And I was like, that would be cool. So I set aside a couple of days, and I was like, let me make this prompt, right? So as I'm making this prompt, what I did was I ended up doing a prompt for my framework. And then I read, oh my gosh, I must have read 5 Dan Kennedy books on copywriting. And I made this like big list of rules that sort of check the copy to make sure that it doesn't break any of these like rules. Anyway, point is, I made this like really long, like 15-page prompt in order to just answer a few questions and write the lead magnet. And what I was going to do is I was going to sell a workshop where I taught you how to use the prompt, answer a few very simple questions, and then it would write your lead magnet for you. So that was my idea. But then I was like, you know what? I want to make sure that this thing works before I get on a workshop and I teach it to people, and then we run into all kinds of problems. So I reach out to a buddy of mine and I'm like, hey man, can I write your lead magnet for you? And he was like, what? He was like, of course you can. I'm like, cool. Answer a few quick questions, which he did. And then I used my prompt. And then, of course, there were some issues. And I went through those issues. I tested them and I figured out how to tweak it. But when I was done, he goes, dude, he goes, this is really good. I would have paid a lot of money for this. Like, this is really, really good. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. And I backed up for a second. I said, am I like giving away too much? You know how they say that, oh, you can't give away too much. They say that in this industry. Well, that's BS. You absolutely can. Okay. And I realized at that moment, I was like, I might be giving away too much, because I started to realize that people are teaching AI. A lot of people are teaching AI, and that's cool. But a lot of people who are making big money, they're using AI to do things that would normally have a high cost of fulfillment, but they're using AI to fulfill them, because that's what we do in our company now. We write emails, and we do, like, I just wrote a 30-day email sequence for an onboarding thing to, hey, fill out your onboarding form, wrote 30 days of emails in like 20 minutes and copy and pasted them into my workflow, and it's all done, right? It literally took 20 minutes. And so I'm like, let me try an experiment. So, and I'm going to show you this post here. I go on Facebook, and this is just absolute nuts. This is nuts that this worked. I can't believe that this worked. So I'm going to show you my Facebook. I'm going to show you a post I made. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to find it here. I'm going to show you this post. All right. Let me get past all my stupid posts. And oh, did you guys see Ben Shapiro reacted to one of my videos? I just saw that on here. That was actually pretty cool. All right, where is it at here? I'll find it. Bear with me, guys. Here, let me share my screen. Oh, you
I
got
dropped it in. Yep.
Oh, my, see, that's why I love Carla. That's why I love Carla. All right, let's see here. Okay, so this was the post I made. I said, social experiment. I'll write your lead magnet for $500. And if you don't like it, you don't have to pay. And I'll write it before you send the money. Who's in? Now, this is a crazy good offer for anybody, like literally anybody. Oh, well, you're Dan Henry. But dude, no, this is anybody would take this offer, right? This is a great offer. So you'll notice I had 161 comments. Now, obviously I have stuff to do, so I didn't sit here and do this all day. I only reached out to 5 people. And here's what I did. I sent them a Google form asking the questions. I said, hey, here's a Google form, fill this out. When they filled it out, I reached back out to them. I said, hey, are you ready, like, for me to create your lead magnet? They said, yes. I copy and pasted the stuff they sent, didn't edit it at all, copy and pasted it into ChatGPT, wrote the lead magnet, and then I just put it in Google Docs, okay? And I'll actually show you in a second the Google Docs, and I'll show you the final designed PDF that they made, because I didn't do design. I just ghostwriting, right? So what I did was I reached out to each person. I said, hey, here's your lead magnet. No revisions. If you like it, pay me $500. If you don't like it, I'll just refund you. And of the 5 people, 4 said, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe it. They didn't even know it was written by AI. And they paid me $500. The 5th person took 2 days to get back to me and was flaky. Well, this person then goes, oh, I don't like it, and started nitpicking it. And I said, you know what? It's fine. You don't have to send me the $500. And so, and I think that person was just screwed up anyway, because it's just how they were behaving before that. So whatever, I don't care. It only took me 5 minutes per book. So the people that liked it, they sent me the $500. That was the screenshot you saw. So I made $2,000. I calculated the time it took me to message them, create the form, copy and paste, and send it to them. Total hours in. And of course, this was over the course of, like, I didn't do it all at once. I did it 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But the total amount of work time was like 62 minutes. It was like basically an hour. And so I made $2,000 with an hour's worth of work. All right. Now, so far, does this seem pretty cool? This sort of model here. Okay. I call it the AI agency model. Now I'm going to show you, how to do this in a minute, but let me just show you some of the work that was done. Okay. Are you guys following so far? I always like to make sure people are following. So let me show you what I sent them, just so you can understand. Yes, 2K and 60. Okay, you guys got it. All right. Easy to follow. And by the way, if you guys don't have an offer, how many of you here like don't have an offer? You're just like, I don't know what I want to sell. If that's you, well, you will have something to sell today. Okay. So there's no excuse for you not to have something to sell, especially now with AI. Like, it's never been easier. If y'all can't make money now, well, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay. So I'll give you an example of a couple here. Let me see here. Oh, no, those are the wrong ones. One second, guys. Here we go. All right, I'm going to show you the what I sent the customers. All right, done for you. All right, so here we go. All right, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this was one of them. A leap of faith, healing after betrayal. 3 ways to find peace and rebuild trust in your marriage, even if it seems impossible. Now, I believe this was for like a Christian marriage coach or something like that. And this was the PDF. Okay. And it had an opening story. It had the 3 tips. It had the CTA, and it had the emotional closing story, all written by AI, but based off my prompt. Now, I want to be clear, guys. You can't just go into ChatGPT and say, write me a lead magnet. It'll suck. It'll suck worse than Heidi Fleiss. Okay. You have to give it like a massively customized prompt to get it this good. And this was based off of 2 things. It was based off my custom script, which is in this book, which is coming out soon. And it was based off of a bunch of rules that I created after reading a bunch of Dan Kennedy books. Now, this right here is just like, this is all I sent them, just this. Okay. And if I can find some examples of some finished products that they sent me, because I asked them, I said, hey, when you get done with the lead magnet, would you mind sending me a copy so that I can see it? And they did. So let me find one. Let me see here. Probably should have had this all good to go before okay. So this guy, he loves this. He loves this Jedi stuff. So here's one. I don't know if he's going to, like, I would think he would get sued by Lucasfilm for this, but hey, that's not my problem. So this was written by me, but he made this PDF based on his brand, which is the Funnel Jedi. Okay. Again, don't know how he doesn't get sued, but whatever, not my problem. Okay. So this was all made by me and he had it designed. Okay. And I believe there is, so you guys following so far what I did, yada, 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 yada. Right. Let's see what else we got here. If I can show you another, I can't find the other ones, but you guys get the point, right? You guys get the point. Yoda, yoda, yoda. So here's the deal. Let me switch over here real quick to this bad boy. Okay. So here's what you kind of have to, wait, what did I do wrong here? I don't know how to work my thing. So here, I'll just do this. Okay. So here's what you have to understand. There are business owners out here, okay, in this wild, wild west, biz owners who have stuff that they know they need, but they don't want to do, or they don't know how to do, right? And what you're looking for is you're looking for a certain type of business owner that has something that they know they need to do, but they don't want to do or don't know how to do, that AI can do. Now, for me, it was writing a lead magnet because, I know how to do that. And so I developed a custom prompt to do this thing. And this could be a variety of things, guys. This could be like, it doesn't have to be copywriting. It could be, you could write emails for people. You could write ebooks for people. You could do website audits for people. You could create custom scripts. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. There's also research projects. There's also, you could make brand documents, like, hey, answer a few questions about your brand, and I'll give you a full brand document that you can use so you always know how to articulate your message to your audience. Like, there's so many different things you can do. There's even stuff outside of marketing. You just have to get your brain spinning. Like, there's probably, I remember I was doing my taxes, and I got asked by my CPA, hey, how much did you spend on doctors in the last year? And I was like, I don't have time to go through that. So I took all my bank statements, I downloaded them as a CSV, I pasted them into ChatGPT, and I said, find out how much money I spent on doctors. And so it went through my whole bank account thing, and it was like, oh, it looks like this is a doctor, this is a doctor, this is a doctor. So in total, you spent this much, right? So like, there's all kinds of services you could perform with AI, and you could get a VA to do most of these as well. And so here's what I'm going to do. Instead of teaching the, like the workshop, I'm going to change the funnel. So what I'm going to do on this page, which this page is the book. Okay. I'm going to go to an OTO, and then to another OTO, and then to a thank you page, right? So this is OTO2, and this is OTO1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a done for you lead magnet. And then here, I'm going to do an offer I call ultimate email sequences. Let me explain what these offers are. So I'm actually explaining to you my funnel before I even release it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer the book. And then on the first OTO page, I'm going to say, hey, thanks so much for buying the book. Let me ask you a question. How would you like it if my team ghost wrote your lead magnet for you, and we'll send it to you within 1 week? And if you don't like it, you don't have to pay. And that's going to be $497, right? Now, it is unheard of to try and sell a $497 OTO. It's extremely, like, it just doesn't work. $297 seems to be the cap. But how many times do you see a funnel with an OTO that is a complete done for you service like this? Very rarely. So my theory is that this will still convert well enough to give me an extremely high average order value. And if I can do that, then I can just scale this funnel to the moon and be able to then bring them into my legacy sequence to get people into legacy. Now, the next OTO is going to be just an info product I call Ultimate Email Sequences. It's where I go through the top email sequence frameworks that I've created and used over the years, and I just kind of explain how to use them and whatnot. And that's only going to be $97. And I might swap that out for something else, but it's just something I whipped together for $97. So you have the book. Now the book is going to be $47. I'm going to try something. Instead of doing free plus shipping, I'm going to do a $47 book and see how that works. And I have a theory I'll get a higher average order value just on the front. Then I'm going to have a $19 bump where you get the audiobook, because that's always worked. I'm probably going to use AI to read the book because I just don't have time to read it. And I don't care to. So I'll probably use AI with my voice to make the audiobook. So now you have $47 plus 19, a $19 bump. Okay. You have a $497 OTO and you have a $97 OTO too. And if I can get the average order value to this over $300, which I think I can, I really don't see why I couldn't scale this thing at like $1,000 a day. And but I'll let you guys know how it goes. Okay. But does everybody follow me so far? Now, this is what I'm doing. What I suggest you guys do if you want to do this, first of all, who's excited about this? Who thinks that they might want to do something like this? Because you can create an AI agency like literally overnight. I'm going to actually walk you through the pitch and how to do this. You guys dig this? Yeah. Okay. So here's how you would do this. It's very, very simple. You got to first find something that AI can solve. You got to find a problem that AI can solve. Okay. Now you could throw it in a funnel. That's all fine. But forget funnels, forget web pages, forget all that. It's just you and your Facebook, right? What I would do is I would pick something. And I would recommend you pick something based on an industry you know, or you're at least endeared to, or you're interested in. And I would go join Facebook groups and I would go start building a network of those people. So for instance, let's say, and if you guys want to type some ideas you have in the chat, that would be great. But yeah, okay, media buying. So let's say you did done for you Facebook ads, right? So here's an idea for one. You could say something like, I will write you 30 Facebook ads for your product. And if they don't convert, I'll give you your money back, right? Or something like that. But what I like to do, the offer I like to do is I'll do this thing for cheaper. I'll do it faster, and you don't have to pay in advance. That right there is a fantastic offer. And here's why. You can do it cheaper because you're not doing it. AI is doing it. And it only takes a few minutes. So for instance, I did a ghost written ebook. Most people would charge several $1,000s to ghostwrite copy like that, or more. I charged $500. So number one, I did it for way cheaper. Way, way, way cheaper. So that right there is like, wow, this is already a good offer. The second thing was I offered to give it faster. When you go out and you want to have your book ghostwritten, it normally takes months. Or for a lead magnet, it might take weeks or at least a week. I offered to give it to you same day. So cheaper, faster. Why can I do it faster? Because AI is doing it. I'm not doing it. The work for me came in designing the prompt. That's the only thing you have to do. That it's really the hard part is experimenting with the prompt so that it really produces. But once it does, you can just churn and burn. Okay. And then number three, and I love this, I will send it to you before you pay me. And if you like it, then you pay me. I love that because it's when you combine those three things, it's extraordinarily hard to say no. How many times do you get annoyed by somebody pitching you, even on a cold DM? But if somebody said, I'll do this thing that you want, I'll do it cheaper, I'll do it faster, and you don't even have to pay me up front. I'll send it to you completely done. And if you like it, you can pay me. I'm not going to lie to you. If somebody sent me that message, even if I was in the middle of doing something else and I was annoyed, I would probably still take up the offer because I'm like, well, why not? Like that is a great offer. Prior to AI, you couldn't make that offer because it just wouldn't make sense. So question from Ryan, are concerns, any concerns about them taking the content and not paying? Sure. But the amount of people that will do that is like, I did 5 people, 4 people paid me. 1 person didn't. So what? It took 5 minutes each. I don't care. I'm not going to not do it again. Imagine if I did it again to make another 2,000 and the same thing happened, I'd be happy as a pig in squalor. I'd be rolling around like, great. Yes, you will have people that won't pay you. So what? they're like, as long as you do a good job, it's going to be a very small percentage. So yes, people will refuse to pay you. That's part of the game. Okay. This can all be zapped and or using auto GPT. So I don't know what, let's see, auto GPT. I have not messed with that yet. Is that based on ChatGPT? Auto GPT. This can all be zapped. Oh, it's more technical. Yeah, I haven't messed with that yet, but I'm going to. Thank you, James. So to be clear, I use ChatGPT 4. When I tried this with ChatGPT 3.5, I wasn't really happy with the results. But with ChatGPT 4, I was happy with the results. And so because we're actually developing an AI app right now for copywriting, but we can only use the API for ChatGPT 3.5 because we don't yet have access to the API for 4. So it's kind of like in beta mode right now, and we're going to release it soon. But if I could create yes, I could create with the API a way to do this automatically so that when somebody submits an order, it builds this all automatically and just emails them the PDF. But because I don't have access to ChatGPT, the 4 API, I would have to use 3.5, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to put out something of less quality. So I just am going to have a staff member take 5 minutes each and do it. I mean, that's still really good. When I eventually get ChatGPT 4 API access, then I will just automate it. Now, I highly recommend, if you're not on the ChatGPT 4 waiting list, get on the waiting list, because I got on it as soon as it came out and I got access like maybe 2 weeks later. 4 is way better. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay. Another question, do we need your prompt, your new book? Okay, so I want to be clear, guys. I am not telling you to write people's lead magnets. That's what I'm doing. I am not going to give you that prompt, because that prompt took me a long time to create. I had to read multiple books. It took me 5 years of experience to know what to put in it. And so I am going to keep that to myself so that I can sell this service, and it's like my intellectual property. But what I'm telling you is you can develop, I mean, half that prompt came from me reading a bunch of Dan Kennedy books. So you can go out, it doesn't even have to be copywriting, it can be anything. You can go out and you can create your own custom prompt, your own thing. And I would recommend you don't share it with anybody. Okay, that's like your bread and butter. It would almost be like if you hired a staff of 5 people to do something, and then you're like, oh yeah, anybody can use my staff members and they don't have to pay me for it. I wouldn't recommend you do that. But if you want to buy this book because you want to create a lead magnet, you can absolutely do that. It's a great book. And it has a ton of knowledge in here. You should buy the book anyway. But if you want us to create your lead magnet, we'd be happy to do it for the low price of $497. But no, I'm just giving you an example of what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm giving you inspiration to create something for yourself. Okay. Does that all make sense so far? Okay. So here's what you would do. You would use, let's say you add some people in your network by going and helping people in groups, you add friends, etc. And you just make posts. Hey, I'm doing XYZ thing. I'll do it for this amount. I'll get it to you same day, and you don't even have to pay up front. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay. If you can stick within that framework, it's going to be very easy for you to pitch your service. The hard part is just creating that prompt. It's going to make a really, really good output. Okay. And then you can go and you can make money. Hey, send me on PayPal. Hey, here's Stripe invoice, whatever. You don't even need a funnel for this. So I made, like I said, I made $2,000, no funnel, no nothing, just doing this. Okay. And then, like I said, we're going to put this in my OTO or in my actual funnel and just automate this as much as possible. And then when we do get access to ChatGPT 4 API, I'll automate it even further. Any other questions so far? Just to be clear, did you use your prompt to create the 5 books you talked about? Yes, I did. My prompt created, I wrote not a single word of it. I did go into Google Docs and like choose what would be bold and what would be highlighted and stuff like that, just to make it look a little cleaner. But that's the extent of what I did. Now, would you guys actually, would you like to see a demonstration? Would you like to see a demonstration? Who here would like me to write your lead magnet in the next 5 minutes? Yeah, you would? Okay. All right. Who here would like that? All right. Yes. You guys want to watch? You want to watch it happen? Okay. All right. Who should I pick? Who should I need somebody that's not going to hem and haw. If I ask you a bunch of questions, I want you to be able to answer these questions. And literally like, don't sit here and think about it for 10 minutes, right? Just answer the question. So say me, if you're the type of person, if I ask, like, let me tell you what the questions are. Hold on. Let me tell you what the questions are. Is Ivy on the call, Carla?
No.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to send a link to one of you. There we go. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so who's down? Who can fill out a form for me in the next 5 minutes? Like, you're just going to go, boom. And here's the questions. It's going to be first name, last name, email. Who is your audience? What problem do you solve for your audience? Describe your approach to solving that problem. Describe your offer or action you want them to take after reading your lead magnet. Describe your voice, caring, direct, harsh, sarcastic. Quickly describe the story behind how you found your solution. You can just write it as like two sentences. Tip 1, please describe one tip you would give your audience. Please describe a second tip you give your audience. Please describe a third tip. What action do you want them to take after they read the guide? What do they get when they take that action? Why is it good? And then tell me a short story about the time you took action. You can literally just be like, the time I did this thing, right? It doesn't even have to be detailed. Okay. Who right now you're 100% positive in the next 5 minutes, you can fill that out. Say me in big me. Okay. All right. Let's go with, I see Tony. I see Jeff. I see Hughes. Let's go with Tony, since Tony looks like, we'll go with Tony. So Tony, I am going to send you a direct message. Tony, how do I okay, I'm leaving that. How do I do that? Carla, do you know how to do that? I'm suck at this.
Yeah, you click in the chat, the drop down next to host and panelist.
Got it. Okay, Tony, did you get that message, that link I just sent you? You got it. Okay, go. I'm gonna answer some more questions, cover some more stuff. But right now, Tony, I need you to go fill this out immediately. Okay, go fill that out immediately. Follow the instructions, and then I'm gonna demonstrate this for you guys. All right, this is gonna be cool. All right. Any other questions while Tony goes and fills that out so I can demonstrate for you? Like, does everybody understand how they can? And look, if you have some ideas on what type of offer you would want to sell for this, let me know in the chat and I'll help you brainstorm them. Okay. For me, it was writing a lead magnet. That's mine. So don't steal mine unless you have your own proprietary way of getting lead magnet. By the way, who's excited for the book? Anybody excited? This is a cool book. It's very short, and I think we're going to release it as a workbook because there's some worksheets in the back. I will show you. See, there's worksheets in the back that you can use to write your lead magnet, which is pretty cool. You love the design? Yeah. So I have this, and then I have so this is the spiral bound, but then I have the perfect bound. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. The only reason I got a spiral was because there's some worksheets in here, but it seems like people don't really care that much either way. Okay, what other questions you guys have about this? So I can cover that while while Tony is doing it. And I'm going to show you guys just how quick I can do this. It's so cool. It's just so cool. All right, let me bring up perfect lead magnet. Bring up my. So I'm going to create one window where I have ChatGPT. So you guys can't see my prompt. And then I'm going to have the other window where all right, new order, done for you form. Can you get Ivy on? Because I can't. Oh, there it is. There's the form answers. Okay, good. All right, there we go. So, all right. This is going to be so cool. What do you guys see this? Getting my windows for you guys. And I'm going to give this to you, Tony, by the way. So thank you for being my guinea pig. Appreciate that. Apologize for the wait, guys. I'm just getting all set up here to demonstrate. Demonstrate. There we go. All right, I am ready. Okay. Don't they limit your inputs to like 20 per day? No, it's 25 per 3 hours. If you're selling more than that, you're doing great. ChatGPT Plus, I believe, is 4.0. I believe that's the same thing. Yeah. So prior to doing this offer, you need to have a good prompt to get something done in good quality. That is correct. Okay. That is correct. Happy to brainstorm some of that with you guys as well. Okay. And also think about your existing offers. Like, what are your guys' existing offers? You know, I mean, you can tack something on. All right. So I'm going to share screen here. Okay, so you guys see this screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and there's another screen you don't see where I'm actually doing the chat GBTing. Now I also this is Airtable. So when Tony fills out that form, it's going to appear here. Okay, so Tony, as soon as you're done, it's going to appear here, and I'm just going to copy and paste it into the other window, which is ChatGPT. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click Google Docs. I'm going to make a new doc. And this is where I'm going to put, All right. So let me bring up my prompt window, which again, y'all can't see because I do have to keep that secret. All right. Tony, you done? Let me know when you're done, buddy. So we can get going on this. He's getting close. He's getting close. So his thing, by the way, if you guys don't use Airtable for stuff, man, I used to use Trello. We used to use Trello a lot, Google Sheets, Google Forms. Freaking Airtable is awesome. It is just so awesome. And the next workshop, I'm going to show you an Airtable setup that we use where we're able to produce like 3 to 5 pieces of short form content per day for under $1,000 a month with editors from like the Philippines. But we systemize everything in Airtable. We used to do it in Trello, but we're going to do it in Airtable now. And I'll show you guys how that works on the next one. What are the highlights to using Airtable? If you got a minute while we're waiting for Tony. So like, it's just, it's just, it's like a super spreadsheet, and it just allows you to, it just allows you to like, let me see if I can show you here. So for instance, like if I go to, how do I go back to the normal Airtable thing? Sorry, I am still getting used to Airtable. Hold on. So like, for instance, you can track MRR. So we're doing our MRR tracking here in here for Legacy University. This isn't done yet. So I created an Airtable here based off reading Dan Kennedy books, where like, for instance, like here I have like an asset list, philosophy. So here I have my philosophies, right? Like, for instance, my business philosophy is the best business, and this is, nobody sees this. This is my personal thoughts that I then use for inspiration when I write my copy. So the best businesses don't find their ideal customer, they create them. That's something I believe. I believe fitness is a duty. It's not a hobby. It's not something that you should find time for or maybe do if you just want to feel better about yourself. I think you should do it. Like there should be no excuse for you not to be into fitness. That's my personal belief. So I would just potentially use this belief when writing something, or at least draw inspiration from it. But this is just where I keep it. I believe money is easy to obtain. I believe that liberalism is dangerous, at least modern liberalism. It's not a political opinion. It is now a toxic danger to society. That's just my opinion. I don't have anything for religion and spirituality. I believe lost sales is the number one expense in your business. Failure is the data required for success. And the main key to time management is just saying no all the time. So like, this is just some of my personal philosophies, right? So then I have my superhero formula. Okay. So my mission is to show people how easy money is to attain. Here are some of my superpowers: copywriting, speaking, sales. Here's fallibility. Like when you write copy, you have to mention how imperfect you are. You can't always seem like you're perfect. So I put here, okay, I'm a workaholic. That's a flaw. I get distracted with new ideas and I get shiny object syndrome like everybody else. This is some stuff I deal with. What things are retold about you? I learned all this from Dan Kennedy books. And then I have like story archive, like the story about the time I got stoned and created a chat bot that just outperformed our human setter. So that's like this whole thing in here. And then we have story formula, like the inciting incident, places. I haven't filled this out yet. These are false beliefs that I'm going to fill out that you guys have about stuff. Heritage checklist. So like, who's your grandfather? Who's your sister? Who's your father? What's your ethnicity, your nationality? Turning points in your life. See what I'm saying? So like, it just allows me to get organized really, really well. And then what else? I can make a list here of all my doctors and just everything needed for that. I can do, we can do email and organic social media, UTM database, email trackers. Like all of our emails get written in here now. Like when I did a JV with Anthony Morrison, here's all the emails. And when they see like done, to do, I think he just didn't mark this one as done. These means they were sent out, right? This is the person assigned in my company to send them out. So I'm just giving you a quick overview, but you can do a lot of really cool stuff. Like here, like these are all emails that I've already written for the perfect lead magnet. Okay. And I believe I believe ChatGPT wrote these. Yeah. Yeah, ChatGPT wrote these. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like project management. Yeah. All right, let's see where we're at here. Come on, Tony. Let's go. I'm going to show you guys this and blow your minds real quick. So, and keep in mind, you definitely want to try to use 4 for this. It's very difficult to do this in 3.5. And get a good result. All right. Done. Okay, he's done. So there he is. There's Tony. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go grab his stuff. So watch how this unfolds. So in another window, you don't see this stuff. So my audience is software development, copy, paste. Okay. What is the problem you have? I'm not even really reading his stuff. I'm literally just copying and pasting. Okay, actually, well, Tony, you filled this out wrong. This is the one thing that you will encounter. People will not read, and they will give you the wrong answers. And this is something I still have to work out. So Tony, it clearly says here, what problem do you solve for your audience? They are overweight. They can't get enough clients. You answered teaching software developers to become more marketable and thus making more money. That is not a problem. That's not even, it's completely, there's no correlation between what you said and the question I asked. I asked what problem they have. They have this. I didn't ask what you did. I didn't ask why you do it. Nobody gives a shit. I asked what the problem was the audience has. So can you quickly in the chat answer the question? This is one of my pet peeves. People don't read. Yeah. What problem do they have, Tony? What problem do they have? Not what do you do? Not what happened when you were 17. What problem do they have? Can you tell me real quick, Tony? Let me just copy and paste the rest here. This is why I don't coach anymore. I don't have the patience for it. I'll be honest with you guys. My approach to solving the problem can be described as, okay. My offer is, okay. I would not make, I'm going to write your lead magnet anyway, but I wouldn't do this as the offer, because if they downloaded your lead magnet, they're already on your newsletter there, Bubba. So kind of there's no need to do that. Okay. Direct with occasional humor. I love it. Described as, okay. I'm almost done filling out my custom prompt here. And yeah, okay. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take this. Oh, I'm sorry. I need your problem. What is your problem? They're stuck in their career, unable to move. Okay, good. So let me replace this with the actual answer. Whoops. They are stuck in their career, unable to move up. So when this happens, you may have to email the person and be like, hey, what's the answer to this? Or you can just guess, and half the time it works out. So that's it. So that's all I needed to make the title, right? So, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to paste it into ChatGPT, and it's going to give me a title. Well, it's going to give me 10 titles. I'm going to pick the title I like. All right. The code to career growth, 5 proven strategies to break the software developer ceiling. That's good. Dev experts blueprint, secrets to gaining authority and advancing your career in software development. Escalating excellence, breaking the coding cage. The developer's advantage, programming your path to success. I'm not showing you the ChatGPT window. They are stuck in their career. All right, so it's top. See, I know it's frustrating. How about I like kind of like the first one. All right. The code to career growth. The code to career growth. Yeah. Darn it. I got way too many windows up right now. Okay. The code to career growth. 3 proven strategies to break the software developer ceiling. Does that sound about right, Tony? Okay. Okay, the code to career growth. 3 proven strategies. Okay. So now I've developed the title. Once I have the title, I have pretty much everything I need, because I tell the rest of the prompts like, hey, here's the title, buddy. Okay. So now I'm going to take the title and I'm going to go back. This is taking me longer than normal because I have my window up for Zoom and I have the chat window up and all this stuff. So keep that in mind. But we're going to go over here. So now I'm going to do the opening story. Okay. So now you're about to see the opening story written. Okay, so now I go back and quickly describe the story about how you found the approach to your solution. So I'm not even going to read this except correcting his. I highly recommend you at the very minimum, unexpectedly. I don't even know how to spell that. Okay. Just to not confuse ChatGPT. Now, the more they enter in here, the better it'll be. He only gave me a couple sentences, but that's fine. Okay. All right. So now I go back into ChatGPT and I paste it, and you're about to see the opening story. All right. And what I'll do is, if you guys want to read the story, I'll leave it up while I'm working on the next prompt. Oh, this is good. This is really good. Oh, I love my prompt. My prompt is awesome. It literally took me like a week to tweak. Okay. Also, keep in mind that some of this stuff will be made up, but that's okay because that's copywriting. That's movies, the Hollywood method. Okay. All right. Here we go. Boom. All right. So now what I'll do is I'll grab this and I'll hit title and I'll put it in the center. I'll grab this. I'll hit subtitle. I'll italicize it because why not? Put it in the center. And then I like to grab this, and to make it clean, I do 1.5 and I do at least 13. It just looks nicer. So when they get it, even though it's not designed, they're like, oh, that looks cool. So this is the Redundancy, that single ice cold word echoed in my head as I trudged away from the concrete jungle that had been my workplace. The lifeless gray of the building seemed to mock my predicament, its towering silhouette representing the monolithic corporation that had just kicked me to the curb. I was nothing more than a cog in the machine, easily replaced. My fingertips, once alive at the rhythm of coding, now felt numb, just like the pit in my stomach. Years spent bringing in new work for the company, building bridges, expanding horizons, all to find myself tossed aside without a moment's notice. Control, I muttered to myself, watching my breath condense in the crisp, unforgiving air. That's what I lacked. A light drizzle began, making the city streets glisten under the streetlights. I felt it seep through my coat, dampening my spirit further. My thoughts bounce around like raindrops on the pavement. Was this the cost of letting others take the reins of my career? The epiphany hit me hard as the cold rain against my face. It's time to take control, I told myself. Time to become the expert. Weeks turned into months. Nights melted into days. Countless hours poured into research, testing, trial, and error. Books, courses, webinars. I explored every avenue I could to crack the code to career growth. Money? I spent a small fortune on resources, all aimed at driving me away from my former predicament and toward the status of industry expert. Despite all the setbacks, the moment of self-doubt, and the dollars spent, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't just about gaining control. It was about leveraging what I knew best, software development. The secret, niche stacking. Fast forward to today, I look out my home office window, a fresh cup of coffee steaming by my side. Gone are the days of cold commutes and fear of redundancy. No longer am I lost in the sea of developers. Instead, I'm recognized, respected, and sought after. My name carries weight, my advice valued, my networking skills unparalleled. With my newfound expertise, I'm no longer confined by ceilings, career, or otherwise. The financial and professional growth I've experienced is nothing short of extraordinary. Was it worth it? The question barely registers before a chuckle escapes my lips. My eyes scan over the numerous email notifications, a software developer from halfway across the globe seeking advice, another asking about my journey. My lips curve into a knowing smile. Definitely. My tale isn't just about control or career growth. It's about sharing this journey. It's about helping others realize their potential. That's why I invite you to join my Dev Secrets monthly newsletter and the Developers Road community. Together, we can break through those ceilings and reclaim control over our careers. After all, why learn the hard way when you can benefit from someone else's journey? So that's the opening story, and then we move into the tips. So that's what my prompt made for the opening story. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to go back. What do you think about that, Tony? Pretty good, right? How do you name this you created? Is it not a lead magnet? It's kind of an ebook story. No, it's a lead magnet. It's a lead magnet based. See, most people, when they make lead magnets, they just make a one-page tip sheet, which does nothing to endear, like, it just gets the email. That's why people don't buy your stuff, because you just give them a one-page cheat sheet. They're not endeared to you at all. They don't care about you. They don't have any connection to you. And then you're just another person taking up space in their inbox. But when that first thing they get from you, they're just like, wow, oh my God, I'm in love with Tony. Like, I need to know more about this guy's journey. Now it's different. Okay. Now it's like they care to read your emails. They care to be in your world. And it's different, man. It's just different. That's why I always put a story. I mean, this is all covered in the Perfect Lead Magnet, which, by the way, you don't even have to write a lead magnet. You could read this book and it'll teach you a lot about copywriting. Okay. So yeah, it's those first impressions. All right. So now I'm going to grab, now look, he only gave me a one-liner tip, which kind of sucks, but that's okay, Tony. I'm used to working with things that suck. So let's, just messing with you. Let's go over here. And I am going to do this. So like literally gives me freaking one sentence, but that's okay. That's what your clients are going to do. They're going to be lazy and they're going to give you one sentence and you're going to have to work with it. So that is okay. So I'm going to do the demonstration properly. I'm not going to change it. Because That's just the way it is. Okay. All right. Information you may need to know. Okay. All right. I am messed up. That's why I'm here. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, to be fair to Tony, he had 5 minutes. He's right. He's right. He's right. But listen, I'm doing this for free. And so as part of the payment, Tony, you have to let me roast you because it's just what makes me happy in life. I don't know. Probably need to talk to my therapist about it, which is fine. But I like roasting people. So that's just part of the payment. All right. Okay. All right. So now I've got my first tip. Let's put it in here. One. Almost done. It's going to end up taking 20 minutes, but that's only because I'm showing it to you guys, obviously. All right. So let me, 1.5, 15, grab this, heading 1. Okay. Now I'll usually right here, put something like, without further ado, here are the tips. Okay, so I wrote one freaking sentence, but that's just to give a better transition, which I could actually improve the prompt, but I didn't because it only took me like half a second to write that. Your career growth. Are you driving or just along for the ride? Ever wondered why you're not getting those promotions or hefty pay raises you think you deserve? Here's something you should realize. Picture yourself on a road trip. You've got a road map, a full tank of gas, and a destination in mind. It's your journey. You decide where to go, when to stop for breaks, and how fast to drive. Nobody else has the same level of interest in your trip. Similarly, in life, and more specifically, your career, you're in the driver's seat. Yeah, I'll talk, Daniel. Let me cover prompt creation here at the end of the workshop. I'll give you some tips on that. You are not your employer, are the captain of the career ship. Allow me to illustrate. Take Jason, a software developer with impressive skills. Jason believed that his company would recognize his hard work and reward him accordingly. He worked late nights, solved complex problems, and even skipped family dinners, expecting his company to value his sacrifices. But promotions and raises remained elusive. Jason was frustrated, feeling like he was running in a hamster wheel, putting in the work but not moving forward. He was waiting for his company to steer his career ship. Then it clicked. Jason realized that he had to take the wheel. He started investing time into niche areas, networking, building authority. He became the expert, the go-to guy, and guess what? Opportunities start knocking. He was no longer waiting for his company to decide his worth. He was proving it himself. Take the wheel, drive your career. Don't just ride along. It's your journey. Your employer might fuel your ride, but you decide the direction and speed. Understand this, and you'll break free from any career shackles holding you back. Okay, so Tony, what do you think about that tip so far? I mean, you only gave me a sentence, but it definitely works. Okay, cool. So see, guys, it's really super simple. Now I'm just gonna copy and paste the second tip in. I'm gonna paste that into ChatGPT. Okay. And it's gonna give me another one. And then all I'm gonna do, and when I do this, I fly. I just go, and the whole thing takes 5 minutes. But obviously I'm explaining it to you. I've got like 17 million windows up. Okay. James says you can add a formatting step in the workflow to format based on a template. Oh, you're right. You can. I didn't think of that. That's a good point. But when I paste it into Google Docs, it does weird stuff anyway. It like adds like a background color and stuff. That's why I didn't do that. But that's a good point. I should improve the prompt with that. If you have any suggestions on that, sure. That'd be great. That's a good point. Okay, so Here you go. Here's the second tip. Unleashing your inner guru, the power of niche networking in software development. All right. So I'm going to paste this in. I did have to take this out because I had it for some reason. It's including the word principle and restate principle, which is from my prompt. So you might have to just clean it up a little bit, but anyway, understanding your inner guru, the power of niche networking and software development. This is good. Ever been to a music festival? Hundreds of bands, all kinds of genres spread over several stages. Fans gather at the stage where their favorite genre is playing. They're more likely to strike conversations, share experiences, and become friends, right? The same logic applies to your professional network. It thrives in better niches. It thrives better in niches. Think of Sam, a smart software developer specializing in artificial intelligence. Initially, Sam would be all over the place, was all over the place, trying to network broadly in a vast ocean of software development. He made connections, but most were surface level and didn't lead anywhere. Then Sam changed his strategy. He focused on AI-specific forums, events, and webinars. He started engaging in deep, meaningful conversations with AI enthusiasts, sharing his insights, and before he knew it, he was becoming a recognized figure in the AI circle. Sam was no longer a small fish in a big pond, but a significant player in a focused niche. He attracted job offers and collaboration opportunities that were perfectly aligned with his expertise. Identify your niche, network. Okay, you guys get it, right? Like, do you run this through a plagiarism check when done? No, because the prompt is so specific. I didn't think I would need to, but that's a good idea. You could add that in the workflow. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that would be a problem, but that's a good point. Do you have a favorite plagiarism? Yeah, you're right. Err on the side of caution. Do you have a favorite plagiarism checker? All right, one more. One more of the tips, and the other stuff is pretty simple. Look at this. Become a contributor to the community. But look, that's okay. That's okay. That's how it goes. All right. All right. Grammarly, Quillbot. Okay. Yeah, it's a good point. Actually, I have Grammarly. Yeah. Let's check it. Let's see. That was about the time I got to hurry up, Tony. That's good. I like Tony. All right. All right. So where's the plagiarism checker? Plagiarism. Yep. Looks like your text is 100% original. And I guess I could grab the whole thing, paste it in. Yep. Looks like your text is 100% original. Yep. So it's all good, but definitely a good tip. Definitely a good tip. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do the final tip. Delete the little left bits of my prompt that it left in. I just do a little formatting. The secret sauce of career growth: become a pillar of the developer community. Picture this: you're at a backyard barbecue party. The grill is sizzling. Everyone is having a good time. But the guy flipping the burgers, he's the hero. He's serving, sharing, engaging. Everyone knows him, and he knows everyone. In the world of software development, be the one flipping the burgers. Meet Jessie. She's a software developer just like you, stuck in her career. She had the skills, but she felt invisible. Then Jessie decided to switch things up. Instead of waiting for opportunities, she began to correct them. She started contributing to open source projects, writing insightful blog posts, offering help on forums, hosting webinars, you name it. The more she contributed, the more she became recognized. Her skills were the same, but now people knew her and respected her. Suddenly, Jessie just wasn't another developer. She was a pillar in her community, an expert. She wasn't finding better career opportunities. They were finding her. To accelerate your career, don't just be part of a community, contribute to it. In software development, just like in life, your value increases by what you give, not by what you take. So go out there, share your knowledge, help your peers, and watch your career take off like a rocket. Okay, so now we've given them the 3 tips, right? So now I go down and we're going to grab the call to action section. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab this stuff. I'm going to go to the CTA. So I have a different one for each of the 4 sections, which that's all covered in my book, by the way. Okay, so doing action is here. What do they get? That's the deliverables. That goes here. Why is it good? That goes here. Okay. Paste that into ChatGPT. And I like to write where do we go from here? I write that manually. Just I could put it in the prompt, but it's start it with where do we go from here? But whatever. Fucking lazy. Okay, so boom. Okay. Oops. Thanks for sticking with me through this lead mag. Well, okay, so this you would want to correct. This is a ChatGPT. You would not say, thanks for sticking with me through this lead magnet, because that is not what you want. You don't want to say this. So I might adjust the prompt to say, please do not call this book a lead magnet, you stupid AI bastard. Okay. I would say book or guide. Then Arnold Schwarzenegger after you ask. Okay. If you found the strategies I've shared valuable and you're eager to put them into action, here's your chance. If you've determined to break through the developer ceiling and ascend to those higher paying positions you deserve, consider joining our Unlock Your Career 5-Day Challenge. And then this would be where obviously they would want to link to their thing. With it, you'll receive exclusive access to a powerhouse of insights, exercises, and strategies, all geared toward establishing you as an industry expert. And you'll be welcomed into our Dev Secrets letter community network. And again, he can adjust this for accuracy. It's not a big deal. You won't just be learning theory. You'll be taking practical, impactful steps to reinvent your career. It added that, Tony, because you said that, right? The best part, you'll be actively crafting your own success story, finding the keys to make yourself more marketable and opening the doors to opportunities you've only dreamed of. So are you ready to seize the reins of your career? Join the Unlock Your Career Challenge today. Link that. Your future will thank you. You could also, I guess I could also ask for a link from the people to their CTA and I could link it. That's an extra step, but I could do that. So now I always put final thoughts and I make this a headline. And this is the last part. So now what I do, I go back to my custom prompt. And this is called the emotional close, which is in my book, The Perfect Lead Magnet, coming out soon. And I go over here and he says, tell me a short story about a time I began to build my authority in the industry by speaking at a local user groups. This led to being awarded a Microsoft MVP award as I became a part of that community. I was given the opportunity to build the WWE Network app for the Xbox. Oh, that's cool, Tony. That's really cool. That's an awesome thing there. See, he gave me more information on that one because he was proud of it. Okay. And that's it. All right. Okay. So now we go back and this is the final. So you guys have read, you've read this lead magnet, right? And most of you are probably not software people, but you can see where by the end of this, you might want to join his 5-day challenge, or who here would join his 5-day challenge so far? And if you haven't, if you're not ready to join his 5-day challenge, wait till you read this. Okay. All right, this is going to be, ooh, I like this already. Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay. It felt like just another Wednesday, my palms sweating as I presented to our local developer group. My voice wobbled as I delved into the intricacies of coding. I felt like a sham. Little did I know this moment would become a turning point. You know, it's tempting to remain in the shadows, in the comfort of the familiar. But what's life without a little challenge, a little thrill? My biggest leap came not from coding in the comfort of my room, but from putting myself out there, from sharing what I knew with others. It was a regular chat, a casual evening when I was approached with the opportunity to build the WWE Network app for the Xbox. Me, a local developer, tasked with such an immense project. I was excited and terrified, but looking back now, I realize this only happened because I dared step outside my comfort zone. Let me tell you this, my fellow developers, being awarded the Microsoft MVP award, having my work recognized, none of it would have been possible if I hadn't mustered the courage to contribute to the community. Just like I encourage you to join the Unlock Your Career Challenge and Dev Secrets newsletter. I took a chance and it paid off immensely. But even if you chose not to take up this opportunity, do something. Step out, make your voice heard. You never know where it could lead. Remember, this isn't some fluffy utopian dream. This is your reality. If you dare to take the plunge, take it from a guy who made his own path and reap the rewards. Even if you don't, I encourage you to do something, anything to break that software developer ceiling. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve a shot at our dreams. The first step, just showing up. The only question now is, will you show up? And that is an entire lead magnet written by AI. My custom prompt AI. Okay, that's freaking impressive, right, Tony? Would you like this? Would you like this lead magnet, Tony? Okay, so I'm gonna go share, and I'll just do. Oh, is it not gonna let me? Is it gonna let me send it to you? Crap, I'll have to figure that out. I'll send it to you, Tony. Don't worry. Yeah, but it won't give you access because this stupid.
Like where it says, Dan, if you go, sorry, you go back.
Yeah, go ahead.
So go to share, like open the window where you were, and then see where it says getclients.com. Can't you change it there?
No,
it
usually says anyone with a link. I'm not really sure why.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why it's doing that. Here, I'll just, wait, hold on, let me try this. Share with others. Son of a, well, I did all that.
Tony, why don't you drop your email? Just let him drop his email in the chat. You can put him in there, right?
Yeah, I think.
You can go back to the share window and just add him as a user or whatever in that one document.
This one the code? Was this one the code to career growth?
I think so. Yeah, so if you put his email right in the add access or add people, his email's in the chat. There. That should work.
There you go. You should have it now, Tony.
Okay.
Boom. Shakalaka. And that's it. Okay. Now, obviously, so you're welcome, Tony. By the way, Tony, would you have paid, obviously, I'd give it to you for free, but would you have paid $500 if that was pitched to you and that's what was given to you? For sure. It took me almost a week to write mine. Boom. There you go. See, I could have just made $500 just like that. All right. Now, what is the hard part? The hard part is writing the prompt. Okay. So let me give you some tips on this. I've showed you in previous workshops how to write prompts. It's the same logic. So you start out, let me kind of paint this for you. You start out and you say, here's my goal. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I want you to do. Here are some rules and frameworks. So I'll give you a hint to this. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but the first part of the opening story, I used a framework called the 3-act play. Now, the 3-act play is a known storytelling framework. If I go into ChatGPT and I say, write me a story about this, which is whatever he had entered in the 3-act play, then it's going to write an okay story. But if I say, here's how to write the 3-act play, here's how to do that. You start out here, then you do this, then you make sure you put this, then you make sure you put that, then you make sure you do this, then you make sure you include that. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. In the 3-act play during the turning point, I always say, make sure to mention how much time and money, or at least allude to the fact that it cost a lot of time and money to figure this out. Why do I put that? I put that because when you're creating copywriting for your audience, if I say, oh, I figured it out, let me teach you how. But if I say, hey, like, I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example. If I want you to buy this book and I say, hey guys, this is Dan. I wrote this book called The Perfect Lead Magnet. It's based off of a custom script I developed for my company. And we were able to create a email list of 50,000 people, and we generated $30 million from that list of 50,000 people. Because this lead, when we followed this framework, we got buyers, not fans. Okay, that's okay. It's pretty good. But if I said the same thing, but I said, if I just added one thing and I said, when I developed this script, it was based on all the things I learned after paying over $500,000 for coaching masterminds. And this is true, by the way, I even sat down and paid for one-on-one time with Pat Quinn, one of the greatest speaking coaches in the world. He charged me $50,000 for one-on-one consulting. And he taught me the finer points of how to tell an opening story. And I applied that to this script. And all the things in this script took me 5 years to really tweak and understand. And I put it all in this book so that you can have it and you don't have to take 5 years and you don't have to spend $500,000. It's all here, right here for you in this book. When I add that, what it does is it shows you that, wow, this took a lot of time and expense to create. And for $47, you're going to get this thing that cost me so much time and so much money. It makes it more enticing because I'm associating a cost and a time to it that maybe you didn't think of. Like, you didn't think like, oh, you probably spent a lot of money and time learning that stuff. But if I say, hey, I spent a lot of time and money learning this stuff, and I tell you that, then you're going to feel like this is more valuable because there's a time and a cost associated with it. And so in the prompt, I say, make sure to mention it took a lot of time and money to learn this thing in the turning point of the opening story. And so little tweaks like that, I add to the prompt to make sure it covers all the points. So here's what I want you to think about when you're creating prompts. You want to give it a basic outline of what to do. And then you want to give it like rules. It must have this rule. So for instance, I'll give you an example. One of the rules that I give it, all right, so we're working on this AI app. It's called Copy Analyzer. And what it does is it allows you to enter your copy and it tells you what laws of copy you're breaking. I'm hoping to have it done in the next 30 days. I have a demo of it. It's really cool. So what I did was I read all these copywriting books, stuff I knew. I read a bunch of Dan Kennedy books, and I made a list of like 50 laws that these laws are just that you can't break these laws. Like if you don't break these laws, you're probably going to have pretty good copy, right? So I'll give you an example of what one of the laws was. This is one. Okay, laws of persuasion. Always encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions that you have something to offer or sell instead of hiding it, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. Enemies would include unsupportive friends or family, the IRS, big pharmaceutical companies, make money gurus. They're like, I give it very specific stuff to go by. Okay. So another one is law of story fundamentals. In your writing, you should always include enemies that you battle and conquer, the time and place and circumstances in which you operate, the people you interact with, and the adventures you engage in. Every story should start in one physical location and at some point end in another. Now, this is just one law of the 50. This is a very important law. Like, this is why most people have crappy copy. They'll say, oh, when I started out, I was a single mom, and, I just felt like my husband didn't value me, and blah, 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 blah. That's horrible copy. It should be more like something like, I'll never forget that face my husband made. I always knew what the face meant. It meant he didn't take me seriously. There I was, sitting at yet another family dinner, trying to explain to my husband why my business was going to work and why none of us would need to work again. And he would roll his eyes like he always did as he passed the gravy, not taking me seriously. And this made me feel incredibly undervalued. It made me feel like my own family didn't take my hopes and dreams seriously. The next day, I went to the office and one location to another location. And I showed my business plan to one of my coworkers. And she was so excited that she offered to invest in my business. Here I was, someone who, compared to my husband, was a complete stranger, offering to invest in my business. And even my husband didn't believe in me. So you see what I'm saying? See how that's getting set up? And then I lead it somewhere like, the principle might be like, the easiest way to get respect from your family is to out earn them, blah, blah, blah. Right. But you see how my husband didn't support me. Who cares? No, I was sitting at the table. He gave me that look he always gives me as he passes the gravy. And I knew what that look meant. It meant that he was just letting what I said go in one ear and out the other, and he wasn't taking my business seriously. The next day, I went to the office, change of location. So these are copywriting principles that a lot of you guys probably don't know because you maybe watched one Russell Brunson webinar, bought one course, and thought that, copywriting, and you didn't do what I did and spend days and weeks reading every copywriting book known to man. Because if you did, you would know these laws, right? But I know that you guys probably aren't going to do that because I'm a geek when it comes to copywriting and direct response marketing. So I'm going to geek out on it. So what do? I build an app or I build prompts that includes all those things I learned into a prompt so that you don't have to. It just does it for you. So what I would recommend you do is find out the thing you geek out on, the thing that nobody else is going to be willing to geek out on, and make a prompt based on your geekiness. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? Okay, cool. Does that kind of give you a little bit better of by the way, was that a good copywriting tip? Did you guys know that? Did you know the whole thing about changing locations and the time, circumstance, the time? So here's what I did for that. So the enemies I battled and conquered, it was my husband, unsupportive family members. The time, dinner time, the place, my home and the dinner table, the circumstance was I was trying to explain my business to my husband, and the people I interacted with was my husband and my coworkers. And then the change of physical location was from the dinner, my home to the office. But notice how when I followed that rule, the story took, like, what was better? I started out, my husband wasn't supportive. I really wanted to create a business, but he never took me seriously. Versus the story about the dinner table. Which one was more engaging? The first one or the second one? Second, right? Why? Because it followed that rule. You see, when you follow the rules, you don't even have to be good at copy, because in order to, if you follow the rules, you will be forced to be good at copy. So that's why I made these rules, because I don't want to always have to think about it. So what I'll do is I'll write my own copy. I'll paste it into my copy analyzer, and then boom, it'll be like, oh, Dan, you missed this. And I'll be like, I did miss that. And then I'll fix it. Okay. Because I still like to write my own copy a lot, and a lot of people do as well, because there's just stuff that about your life that ChatGPT can't know. So plus you can actually take ChatGPT generated copy and run it through the copy analyzer and make it even better. So I think you mentioned some of this in the workshop about the butt plunger. Yes, there is some of that in there. Yes. What are your top 10 copywriting books? I mean, 10, top 10 copywriting books. I don't know if I can name 10 off the top of my head, but virtually any book written by Dan Kennedy, which I have everywhere. I would say, With Caution, Breakthrough Advertising. I have a bunch of the copy here. Let me show you. You want to, here, one second. So this book, I don't even remember when I got this book. This is a book by Ben Settle. I paid $1,000 for it. Look how thick this book is. I paid $1,000. I think I paid $1,000 for this book. It's called The Affiliate Launch The Affiliate Launch Copynomicon, the world leader in email copywriting education, secret tome for using plain text emails to create blockbuster product launches, dominate affiliate contests, and create money literally on demand with special sales and offers. So this is a huge, dude, look at how big this book is. Look how big this freaking book is. It's huge. I still haven't read the whole thing. But there's just so much in here that is just so oh God, there's just so much. Copywriting is just so much. So, oh wait, here's the receipt. Is this the receipt? I can tell you how much I paid for this. No, that's something else. That was a bookmark. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know where you get this book, but it's $1,000. This one, this one. Do I use ChatGPT in my Facebook ads? I have no idea, because we have a media buyer. I don't do that stuff anymore. What do you think this is? So I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so that's this one. Let me see if I have a different one. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I got one for you guys. All right, I can't find Draw to Win, even though it's a book about drawing. It's actually a great copywriting book because it teaches you how to come up with concepts, visual illustrations. Now I want to read this book, you sons of bitches. Now I'm going to be reading this book. This is another good one. TED Talks, the official guide to TEDx public speaking. There's some gold nuggets in here. It's not necessarily a copywriting book, but I like that. Oh, also there is a book by Marvel. It's a Marvel book on how they crafted stories around all the famous Marvel characters. You got to get that book. I think it's called Creating the Marvel Universe. It teaches you a lot about character development. So while I read a lot of copywriting books, I also read a lot of books that have nothing to do with copywriting, but it teaches me about copywriting. At what point would you recommend someone hires a media buyer? When you're making so much damn money that you don't have, like, that you just don't want to do stuff. Like, you just don't want to worry about it. I'd say you 6 figures a month for sure, deep into 6 figures a month. Otherwise, just learn it yourself. It's not that hard. Any cool tips for media buyer lead magnets, problems and challenges? Test, man. You got to test stuff. Do you guys want me to do actually, so right now we're running ads for legacy and we're getting a pretty good cost and we're scaling. So I have a different media buyer for get clients than I do close deals. I could do some workshops where I bring in my media buyer. I could do 2 separate ones where I bring in my media buyers and we kind of like go over some of the stuff we're doing. If you guys want, if you want me to put that on the docket. Yeah. Okay. I can probably do that. Yeah. Sure. What books by Dan Kennedy do you recommend? All of them. Listen to what I'm saying. All of them. Okay. All right, guys. Was this a helpful workshop? I know I didn't show you the prompt, but trust me, when you create your own prompt that can do this and you saw the output, like would you agree that the output you saw was vastly better than what you normally see from ChatGPT? True or false? True. Right. True. It's because stark difference. It's because I took the time to make, I probably could, I'll tell you this, it took me longer to make that prompt than to write this book. But I can now charge $500, or I could probably charge more to create. It's going to make me a ton of money. Okay. And by the way, guys, when you buy this book, it's going to be $47 for the book, for the physical copy, and it has worksheets in it. This is a great copywriting book. I recommend you buy this and don't just try to make ChatGPT stuff. Like learn the art. But the first OTO will be a done for you copywriting service where we do what I just showed you for Tony. We do it for you. So when you go to buy the book, if you would like that, you can do it. We're going to launch that soon. I'm thinking about, it's going to be launched within a week. We're going to launch this book within a week, very, very soon. Would you guys like me to, and again, you can say no to this. I don't care. Take it or leave it. Would you guys like me to send an email to legacy members first, like a couple days before we launch it to the rest of the email list so that you'll get first crack at buying the books? I'm not saying we're going to run out of books. We ordered 500. We might run out of books, but more so that if you did want the done for you service, you'll get in line ahead of everybody else and you'll get your books right away. Does anybody care for me to do that? If not, I'll just release it to the whole list, because I feel like once you saw how easy it was for us to do it, you don't want to pay $500, but it was really good. Okay. Kaylee says yes. Okay. Okay, cool. I can't do a signed copy. Well, I might do signed copies as prizes for some of you guys, which we're going to get into that stuff. And I can't say yet. I can't really say what this is yet, but I will let you know that we're creating something over at our sister company, Close Deals. It's a software, and it's just a little bit of a high ticket software that everybody can promote. We're going to take on affiliates, and for every person you refer, you'll make $300 a month. And that's going to be really cool. And we'll be releasing that in the next couple months. So for any of you affiliate peeps, you might want to check that out. So stay tuned. So much stuff in the Dan Henry universe coming out. Like, this is coming out. We just got so much coming out. It's going to be awesome. Okay. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Did you guys learn a lot? Did you, by the way, if you could post your takeaways in the legacy community today, that would be great to foster the conversation and get people going. It would be great if you could post your takeaway from the workshop. And Carla, can we remind everybody to do that at the end of each one of these workshops, post their takeaways?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.